Good evening, teachers. Welcome to our English training for today. Denise, welcome. Welcome to our English training. Where are you from, Denise? Thank you. Lima. Okay, Denise is from Lima. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Rosa Berta Yontov and I am here in order to share with you this training from Auge, Peru. I am from Chiclayo. Okay, teachers. How do you feel? How do you feel today? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Denise. Thank you. Okay, teachers, let's start our English training for today. Okay, teachers? Now, let's try to share with you this training. Okay, now, first of all, I would like that teachers know about this training. Okay, today let's start this training for Ascenso de Escala here in Auge, Peru. Okay, teachers, but it's important and necessary to keep in mind what are the purposes of this training. Why? Because you are going to focus on those purposes. The first one, you are here in order to refresh your knowledge about English methodology, to review English skills and strategies, to solve and check case studies from different exams, and to give you some tips to solve the exams. Okay, teachers? Now, it's necessary that you focus on those purposes because I always try to put the first, okay, at the beginning, these purposes because you are English teachers and you know English methodology, you know English language skills, but here you are going to remember, refresh, review, because first of all, it's necessary to review information, okay, to review information, theory, terms, terminology, and then here in this training from Auge, Peru, we are going to solve, to check some case studies from Minedu exams, because you are going to take your exams in October, yes? And I'm going to give you some tips in order to solve exams. Welcome, dear teachers, and let's start. One topic from Minedu exam focus on approaches. Today, let's start, okay, with task-based learning, PBL, task-based learning, okay? We are going to start with this approach. Please, it's necessary that first of all, try to remember and focus on this approach. PBL or TBI, task-based learning or task-based instruction, is a teaching approach which focuses on the student by asking to do meaningful activities or tasks. These tasks can be daily routines like buying a cup of coffee, going to the doctor, or talking to someone on the phone. Instead of a language structure or function to be learned, students are presented with a task they have to perform or a problem they have to solve. Task-based learning helps students to have a meaningful experience with a language and give them contest, and the result is motivation. In other words, teachers, task-based learning focus on the student. The student is the center of learning. Our students are the center of learning, teachers. It's necessary here in this task-based learning approach help students to have a meaningful experience. Our role is to guide them, to help them, okay, to improve task-based learning. Now, task-based learning, the framework of TBL or TBI, task-based learning or task-based instruction, okay, TBL or TBI. Here there are 3 stages: pre-task, task cycle, and language focus. Pre-task, okay, task cycle, and language focus. In pre-task, teachers, it's necessary here to focus. Here the teacher is going to introduce the topic and task. Task cycle, focus on 3 parts, okay, the task, planning, and report. For this reason is task cycle. First of all, the task, then, okay, the students are going to plan how are they going to do the task, and then they are going to report the task to the whole class. And language focus. Here in language focus stage, in TBL or TBI, task-based learning or task-based instruction, you have analysis and practice, because it is necessary to practice and use the English language. Please, this is the 3rd stages of TBI or TBL. Now here, let's try to develop one by one. Okay, teachers, today let's review task-based learning or task-based instruction. First stage, pre-task. Introduction to topic and task. Here the teacher explores the topic with the class, highlights useful words and phrases, helps students, okay? Here in this stage, it's very important that teacher helps students understand task instructions and prepare. This is in the first stage, pre-task. Why? Because here the teacher have to realize that his or her students understood the instructions. It's very important here in the first stage, in pre-task stage. Now, in pre-task stage, the teacher explores or introduces the topic with the class, highlights useful words and phrases, and helps students understand task instructions. Okay, now, task cycle. Remember, we have task, planning, and report. Task, planning, and report. Here in task, students do the task. The students can do the task in pairs or small groups. Okay, please focus on small groups. It's much better. And what is our role here? The teacher monitors. It's very important that teacher monitors, but obviously nowadays we are at home, we have online classes, but it's necessary that during at school or in the classroom, okay, the teacher monitors, but online too, but well, it's not the same, yes, but here this approach, task-based learning approach or task-based instruction, focus on that. Then planning. What happened in planning? In planning, students prepare to report to the whole class. be orally or writing. How they did the task. Okay, here is in the task cycle, it's necessary that students, the learners, prepare, okay, how they are going to do that task and what they decided or discovered. And finally, in task cycle, we have report. Here in report, some groups present their reports to the class or exchange written reports and compare results. Students receive feedback on their level of success on completing the task. Okay, teachers, please. Task cycle, task planning report. Okay, now, first stage, pre-task. The second, task cycle. And the third, language focus. In language focus stage, okay, of TBL or TBI, task-based learning or task-based instruction, we have analysis and practice. Analysis, students examine and discuss specific features of the test or transcript of the recording. And practice, teacher conducts practice or new words, phrases, and patterns occurring in the data. Okay, here, the third stages of TBL or TBI, pre-task, task cycle, and language focus, teachers. Pre-task, task cycle, and language focus. In pre-task, keep in mind, okay, the teacher introduces, the teacher explores the topic to the class, highlights useful words and phrases, and helps students understand task instructions. Okay, this is very important here in pre-task. Why? Because sometimes we as teachers explain, give the instructions, but sometimes some learners didn't understand, okay, the instructions, and then they waste the time and say, okay, the time is over. Try to report your task and say, I didn't know. Okay, for this reason, in the first stage, it's very important teachers realize that students understood the instructions. Now, in task cycle, don't forget three parts: task, planning, and report. For this reason, it's task cycle. And language focus, analysis, and practice. Okay, the focus on the language, the use of the language. And now, we talk about task-based learning, but what is a task? Okay, what is a task? Here you have a task is any activity, okay, that learners engage in the process of learning a language. This is a task. A task is a range of learning activities from the simple and brief exercises to more complex and lengthy activities such as group problem solving or simulations and decision making. This is a task. Okay, it is necessary that task focus. Okay, it is necessary that the students know what is the purpose of the task. Okay, why are they going to do the task? But you as teacher, we as teacher, is necessary to give them, okay, what is the purpose of the task and try to give the correct instructions, clear instructions, in order the students understood what are they going to do. Okay. Now, why do teachers use a task-based approach. Why? Here you have some reasons that we use, okay, we as teachers use task-based approach. To give learners confidence in trying out whatever language they know. To give learners experience of spontaneous interaction. To give learners the chance to benefit from noticing how others express similar meanings. To give learners chances for negotiating terms to speak. These are some reasons that we as teachers use task-based learning approach. Okay, teachers, now, do you have any question? Denise, you are here in order to refresh this, okay, teachers? This training, one purpose of this training from Auge Peru is help students, help teachers, in this case, help teachers to refresh, okay, to review terms, terminology in order that then they can practice some case studies from Minedu exam. Okay, teachers. Now, teacher roles and learner roles. Okay. Here you have some teacher roles, for example, selector and sequencer of tasks, preparing learners for tasks, consciousness raising. And learner roles, okay, some learner roles, we have group participant, okay, sometimes our students, as they have some roles as monitors and risk take an innovator. What is the difference between an exercise and an activity? Here we have some opinions, in this case by Professor Richards. Professor Richards says, an exercise is a teaching procedure that involves control, guided or open-ended practice of some aspect of language. A drill, a closed activity, a reading comprehension passage can all be regarded as exercises. Okay, this is exercise. Now, the activity, the term activity. The term activity is more general and refers to any kind of, okay, purposeful classroom procedure that involve learners doing something that relates to the goals of the course. For example, singing a song, playing a game, taking part in a debate, having a group discussion, are all different kinds of teaching activities. This is the term activity is more general, teachers, more general, and refers to any kind of purposeful classroom procedure. This is, please, sometimes some teachers confuse task, activity, and exercise. Here you have some task types. Please try to identify, try to keep in mind some examples, okay, some kinds of tasks, task types. And you have some examples of a specific task. For example, we have listing, ordering and sorting, comparing and contrasting, problem-solving tasks, projects and creative tasks. These are some task types. Okay, sharing personal experiences and mapping. In listing, you have some examples of a specific task for listing. Brainstorming, for example, fact-finding, games based on listing, could be quizzes, memory, and guessing. Ordering and sorting. In ordering and sorting, we have sequencing, for example, because ordering, okay, sequencing, ranking, ordering, classifying, comparing and contrasting, games, and graphic organizers. Problem-solving task is another task type. Problem-solving task. Examples of a specific task could be logic problem prediction. Projects and creative tasks. We have newspaper, posters, survey, fantasy, sharing personal experiences, storytelling, for example, okay, is an example of a specific task. And matching words and phrases to pictures. This is some task types. Listing, ordering and sorting, comparing and contrasting, problem-solving tasks, projects and creative tasks, sharing personal experience, and matching. Now, this is task-based learning. And now let's check about presentation practice production. Okay, the first approach, we review task-based learning or task-based instruction. Now let's continue with presentation practice production. Presentation practice production, because sometimes teachers confuse about task-based learning with presentation practice production, PPP. Here, the first stage is presentation. Here, there is oral exposure and teacher modeling. The teacher introduces a situation and presents the target language in context. Okay, try to identify, try to realize what is the difference between task-based learning and presentation practice production. Here in presentation, the teacher introduces a situation and presents the target language in context. In practice, something important, okay, and is a characteristic of presentation practice production is that teacher models here. In this approach, the teacher models, okay? Practice. In the second stage, in this case, practice stage of presentation practice production, PPP, students practice the target language through drills or control practices. The teacher controls the practices by checking students' understanding of the items presented in the first stage. It means the teacher controls the practices by checking students' understanding of the items presented in presentation stage. Production. In this stage, the students transfer the previously studied structures to different situations. The aim is to increase fluency in linguistic use because it's production. The students are going to produce, okay? Here through autonomous and more creative activities. The strategies for achieving such a goal are based on a freer use of the target structure. Now, presentation practice production. Okay, teachers, presentation, practice, production is the second approach that today we review in this training from Auge, Peru. This training is for Ascenso de Escala, and today we start this training. Okay, teachers, now presentation, practice, production. Now, here we have presentation and then some suggested activities. In presentation stage, this stage has two steps. The first is an introduction of the structure to be taught in the second language. A warm-up or a leading activity is used to raise students' interest in the topic. This stage is characterized, okay, by having memorable and realistic examples. It has logical connection with the next stage. It is clear and meaningful and has meaningful repetitions to help students with the context. This is in the first stage. Some suggested activities, okay? Teachers suggested activities. We have brainstorming, repetition drills, and using the topic in context. It depends on you, because when we as teacher, it is necessary to plan our lesson, and when you are going to choose the activity, the task, okay, it's necessary that you know, or we know, because we are English teachers or teacher, it's necessary that know our students' characteristics. It's necessary to know their characteristics, their needs, okay, because sometimes we think, okay, about us, but it's necessary to focus on them, on our students, okay, their needs, their characteristics, because they have different styles of learning. Focus on that, teachers, when you are going to plan your lessons, okay? Suggested activities, brainstorming, repetition drills, and using the topic in context. In brainstorming, it is used to get information from the students about a specific topic. Repetition drills. The purpose is to help students improve their pronunciation. Using the topic in context. The students are provided with a linguistic model to apply to the concept they have recognized. Okay, as you realize, teachers, in presentation, practice, production, here the center, okay, here in this approach is the teacher, because the teacher model. But in task-based learning, okay, in task-based learning, the teacher give the task and the students are going to plan, decide how they are going to do the task. But here, okay, is different. Try to notice what are the difference, or what are the differences between task-based learning with presentation, practice, production. Practice stage. Here, students have the opportunity to practice what they learn, avoiding mistakes. This stage focuses on form. The teacher role is to monitor what students are doing. This stage must be attractive for students. It should be clear and understandable and promote confidence to the students, because they are going to practice, they are going to use the language. Practice the language here, okay? Suggested activities, drills, for example, monitoring and information gap activities. Okay, sometimes some teachers use, for example, drills, or maybe if you have another activity, you can include, because these are some suggested activities. And information gap activities, for example, students complete some exercises using the items layer in order to, okay, information gap activities. Production stage. Production, okay? Here, this stage centers on fluency. It means on pronunciation. The students are going to produce. This stage centers on fluency, giving students the opportunity to interact in communicative activities. Students demonstrate their learning by working and sharing with each other. In this stage, the language is used naturally in real situations. The three stages are essential to achieve communicative language learning. They must flow easily from one stage to the next. Okay, teachers, presentation, practice, production. Some suggested activities. Here you have, because it's production, we can use, for example, discussion, role plays, quizzes, games, okay, because it's production. Here in production stage, focus on fluency, okay, pronunciation. Okay, teachers, are you ready to practice with some case studies? Yes, okay, I'm going to read the chat here. Then Dennis, are you ready, Dennis? We are here in Auge, Peru, in order to practice some case studies. We are in Facebook Live too. Okay, now let me see. Here I have some teachers. Okay. Okay, teachers from Auge, Peru. Let me see some minutes, please, in order to know. Okay. Okay, good evening, Carlita. Joans. Okay, teachers, welcome. Where are you from, Carlita and Joans? They are in Facebook Live. Okay. Okay, now let's continue. Okay, Denise, you are ready. Now, first of all, you are going to read the case study. Okay, here. First of all, read carefully. And I suggest identify teachers. Okay, when you are reading, identify keywords. Today, let's practice. I'm going to help you. How do you, or how can you identify keywords? Okay, teachers, now read, please. Read carefully the whole case study. Focus on the questions and alternatives. Okay, now start, please. Okay, number 1. To continue working on her lesson, Karina has planned the following sequence. First, the teacher tells the students that they are going to write their own survey, taking into account then she forms groups of 4 students and gives the following instructions. Each group has to write one survey. The survey has to include 5 questions that help you know the free time activities your classmates enjoy doing. The students work in the groups to decide what questions to include in the survey, while the teacher monitors and provides help when necessary. Next, the students use the survey they elaborated to interview peers from other groups and then report their findings to the class. Finally, the teacher asks the students to analyze the kind of language used in their surveys. WH questions, yes, no questions, adverbs of frequency, etc. She also asks them in which other situations they can use that language. The question is, which of the following teaching method has Karina applied in the sequence presented? A, task-based learning. B, content-based learning. C, presentation, practice, production. Dear teachers, first of all, okay, try to use the chat. Okay, identify keywords. It's important to focus on the sequence. Okay, read the sequence and try to read carefully and identify keywords. During your exam, it's necessary that you circle or underline keywords. Why? Because keywords are going to help you to choose the correct alternative. Another tip, you have 3 alternatives, A, B, and C. Try to eliminate one alternative. Eliminate one of them. Why? Because for you, it's easier, okay, to decide which one, A or B, B or C, B or A, etc. And focus on the question. Okay, teachers? Now, the question is, which of the following teaching methods has Karina applied in the sequence presented? A, task-based learning, B, content-based learning, or presentation, practice, production. The first answer is here. Okay, the Denise, letter A. Okay, here my teachers from Facebook Live, A, B, or C teachers. Joans, Carlita, teacher Carlita, teacher Joans. Okay. No? Okay. Now, my dear teachers from Auge, Peru. Letter A, okay, Denise, letter A. Okay, teachers, most of the teachers consider letter A teachers. How did you realize that the correct alternative for you is letter A? How? Please interact. You can use the chat, please. Yes. Denise, because it starts with instructions. Okay. Yeah. Yes. one keyword here is first, the teacher tells the students that they are going to write their own survey, taking into account the survey presented in the previous activity. Okay, then she forms groups of 4 students and gives the following instructions. Okay, instructions. Immediately, teachers try during your exam, because now you are here, okay, online, but you're going to have a pencil. Try to identify the keyword, circle the keyword, or underline. You have instructions. Okay, very good, Denise. Another keyword. Each group has to write one survey. The survey has to include 5 questions that help you know the free time activities your classmates enjoy doing. The students work in their groups. Okay, another keyword, groups. To decide, but anyway, in presentation, practice, production, the students work in pairs or in groups too, but here, the students work in their groups to decide what questions to include in the survey while the teacher monitors and provides help when necessary. Here is something important, okay? The students work in their groups to decide. Decide is another keyword, okay? The students work in their groups to decide what questions to include in the survey while the teacher monitors and provides help when necessary. In task-based learning, the teacher helps students when necessary. Okay, next, there's another keyword here, teacher help when necessary. In task-based learning. Next, the students use the survey they elaborated to interview peers from other groups and then report. You know, you have another keyword, report their findings to the class. Finally, the teacher asks the students to analyze the kind of language used in their survey. Another keyword here in this sentence, the teacher asks the students to analyze. Okay, you have report, analyze, instructions. Analyze the kind of language used in their service. He also asks them in which other situations they can use that language. Okay, teachers, the correct alternative is alternative letter A. Task-based learning, task-based learning. Okay. Now, number 2. Congratulations, teachers, congratulations. Okay. We have teachers in Facebook Live. I'm going to invite you to prepare with us here in Auge, Peru. For Ascenso de Escala, okay? Okay, number 2. Teachers, please share your answers. Number 2. Eduardo wants to help his students develop their oral skills. He has designed the following teaching sequence. The students watch a video about traffic issues, traffic jams, bad driving, in different cities around the world. Next, in pairs, the students discuss their impressions about the video. Then the teacher writes the following questions on the board. What do you think about the traffic in our city? What can our authorities do to deal with traffic issues? And how can we contribute to the authorities' efforts? Next, the teacher forms groups of 3 and asks the students to discuss the questions and write their conclusions on a flip chart. After that, the groups give an oral presentation in front of the class and answer some other questions made by the audience. Finally, the teacher asks the students to report how they organize the activity and what difficulties they found during the process. Which of the following methods has not been promoted in Eduardo's teaching sequence? Task-based learning, alternative letter A, alternative letter B, content-based learning, or C, problem-based learning. A, B, or C, teachers. Focus on the question. Which of the following method has not been promoted in Eduardo's teaching sequence? A, B, or C? Okay, teachers, please share your answers. Denise, teacher Denise. Okay. We are in Facebook Live too. Okay, now I'm going to read the answers. Okay, teachers. Okay, Carol. Carol, number two. Number 2, Carol, yes, number 2. Letter C. Somebody else? Okay, teachers. Letter B. Denise, letter B. Okay, now focus on the question, teachers. Which of the following method has not been promoted? Okay, here, if you realize the sequence, okay, focus on students watch a video about traffic issues. Do you consider this video focus on a problem? Yes, it's a problem-based learning. The sequence here, you have the teacher raising the following questions on the board. Then the teacher forms groups of 3 and asks the students to discuss. After that, the groups give an oral presentation in front of the class. And finally, the teacher asks the students to report. Okay, this sequence corresponds to task-based learning. And the question is, which of the following method has not been promoted in Eduardo's teaching sequence? In this case, the correct alternative is content-based learning. Alternative letter B. Okay, very good, Denise. Letter B. Why letter B? Because, you know, during this training, we are going to develop, okay, to review content-based learning, problem-based learning, project-based learning. And here, content-based learning focus on a topic, okay, or different subjects here. But in this sequence, okay, Eduardo's teaching sequence has not been promoted content-based learning. The correct alternative, teachers, is alternative letter B, content-based learning. Okay, teachers, don't worry if you confuse. Don't worry, you are here in order to practice and to prepare. Remember that errors are part of our learning. Okay, we learn. Okay, teachers, now, number 3. Okay, Carol, teacher Carol, where are you from? Okay, number 3. Danny has developed the following sequence to help students improve their listening skills. The teacher tells the students to listen to an announcement of lost objects in the school. They have to focus on the characteristics of the lost objects and the places where they were found. The students listen to the audio and take notes. Next, the students use their notes to write a short description of the characteristics of the objects and the places where they were found. They will paste the descriptions on the walls of the school for the owners to identify their objects. Finally, the students analyze the kind of language used during the activity and the teacher clarifies if necessary. The question is, which teaching method to listening is used by the teacher? A, task-based learning. B, project-based learning. C, problem-based learning. Letter A, task-based learning. B, project-based learning. And C, problem-based learning. Teachers, please study number 3, A, B, or C. And please practice. Okay, try to identify, underline, or circle during your exam, because now maybe you only are reading, okay? And then you are going to eliminate one alternative that is out of the case study, and then you can decide which alternative is correct. Okay. Dear teachers, okay, teacher Denise, letter A. Teacher, why and how do you realize that for you the correct alternative is alternative letter A? Please share, because it starts with the task. Okay, thank you. And then can you find more keywords in the sequence? Please try to share with me, because it's necessary to interact. Because if you practice as much as possible, teachers, and you are going to identify keywords, you're going to choose the correct alternative, and you are going to pass your exam. Yes, teacher. Thank you. Thank you so much, teachers. From Auge Peru here, they are in Zoom, okay? Report and analyze. Thank you, teachers. And how about here in Facebook Live? Because we are here in Facebook Live, but teachers try to participate. Yeah, Liliana, Maria Flor, letter B. Okay, Carol, thank you. Carol is from Arequipa. Maria Flor, okay, Maria Flor is study number 3. Yes, number 3. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay, teachers. In this case, is study number 3. The correct alternative is letter A, task-based learning. Task-based learning, because you have some keywords. For example, you have here the students use their notes to write short descriptions, and then Here, the students analyze. Another is the teacher clarify is necessary. When you find, analyze, report, decide, okay, plan, is focused on task-based learning approach. And teacher clarify, teacher help if necessary, instructions, okay, focus on task-based learning approach or task-based instruction. Okay, teachers, congratulations. Well done, teachers. Maria Flor. Okay. Juanita, Carol, Liliana. Teachers. Okay, Juanita. Thank you. Number 3, letter A. Number 4. Number 4. Teachers, number 4. Okay, Denise, letter B. Juanita, Maria, Flor, Carol, Liliana. Please share your answers for case study number 4. Denise, because there was a presentation and production, but there was not practice. Okay, thank you, teacher. Denise, you identify, you realize that practice stage is missing. Yes, now let's analyze. Lillian is going to teach the topic daily routines using simple present tense. She will use the presentation practice production, PPP. This is the sequence she has planned. First of all, the teacher shows the video, A Day in the Life of My Favorite Singer. Then she elicits the activities the singer typically does during the day and writes the new expressions on the board. Next, the teacher describes the singer's daily routine using the new expressions in simple present tense. Then the teacher tells the students to write a short description of their daily routines following her example. Finally, the teacher calls on volunteers to read their daily routine. The question is, which of the PPP presentation practice production stage is missing in Lillian's teaching sequence? Presentation, alternative letter A, the practice stage, alternative letter B, or C, the production stage. Here, some teachers consider alternative letter B, the practice stage. Okay, thank you, teacher from Auge, Peru. And now from teacher from Facebook Live. Okay, Juana, letter B. Yes, letter B. Miriam, letter B. Juanita, letter B. Yes, teachers. For case study number 4, the correct alternative is letter B. Practice stage is missing. Well done, teachers. Okay, teachers, today we start our training here from Auge, Peru, in Chiclayo, okay, for Ascenso de Escala, teachers. If you want to communicate with us, please, maybe you have information in Facebook in order to give you more information about Ascenso de Escala training. Okay, number 5, case study number 5. Number 5. Maria, Flor, letter C, Liliana, letter C. Here, teacher from Auge, Peru, Denise, and letter C. Okay, let's analyze here. Case study number 5. Ronnie's students have been practicing describing physical appearances in order for his students to develop their writing skills. He will ask them to compare two famous singers. He has designed the following activity. First of all, show the students pictures of two famous singers and invite the students to describe them. Write their ideas on the board. Write a couple of sentences in comparative form using the ideas from the board. Zendaya is taller than Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez is more beautiful than Zendaya. Place pictures of other famous singers on the board and have the students write some comparisons following the teacher's model. Next, tell the students to write a short paragraph comparing two of their favorite singers. Collect the papers once the students finish. In the sequence above, what teaching method is Ronnie using? Alternative letter A, task-based learning. B, total physical response. C, presentation, practice, production. Teachers A, B, or C. Case study number 5. Here, teachers from Auge, Peru. Alternative letter C. Presentation, practice, production. Please, teachers, try to share with me some keywords, okay, that help you to identify presentation, practice, production. Please, come on. Here. Okay, Maria Flor, here in Facebook Live. Maria Flor, Liliana, letter C. Okay, teachers, Maria Flor and Liliana, Juana, Miriam, Carol. Can you identify some keywords, please? Identify some keywords, because keywords are going to help you to identify, to choose the correct alternative teachers. Teacher Daisy, Miriam, Juana, Liliana, Carol, Maria Flor, can you identify any keyword, please? Thank you. Now here, my teacher from Auge, Peru. Keywords, the pictures, their examples to practice, and the production in the end. Okay, teacher Denise shared this information. Okay, thank you, teacher. Teacher Denise, identify some keywords here that I'm going to read. The pictures, their examples to practice. Okay, thank you. And the production. Okay, teachers, congratulations. Congratulations, teachers. Okay, number. Okay. Teachers, case study number 6. Share your answers, please. Share your answers. Teachers from Auge, Peru and Facebook Live here, please. Teacher Miriam, Daisy, Juana, Maria, Liliana, Carol, case study number 6, please. Okay, number 6. Teachers here from Auge, Peru. Teacher Denise. Okay, thank you. Alternative TBL, task-based learning. Task-based learning, alternative letter A. Emerson will get his students involved in writing by having them email a contemporary writer they admire. He has designed the following sequence. The teacher asks for the student's favorite young adult contemporary books and takes notes on the board. After that, the teacher asks the students to do some research on the writer of their favorite book. They go to the computer lab to make a brief search on the web. Later, the teacher tells them that they are going to write an email to their favorite young adult contemporary writer to comment on his or her work. In their notebooks, they list the comments they would like to send. Using their list, the students write an email draft while the teacher monitors the activity, helping out when necessary. Then, the teacher pairs up the students and asks them to share the comments they wrote. They analyze the language included in their draft. Finally, the students look for the author's contact information and send him or her the final version of their email. In the teaching sequence above, what is the teaching method applied? A, task-based learning. B, presentation, practice, production. Or C, content-based learning. Okay, most of you, dear teachers, share alternative letter A, task-based learning. Okay, here my teacher from Auge, Peru. Here they are in Zoom. There is a task, report, and teacher monitor. Thank you, teachers. You identify keywords. Keywords are going to help you to choose the correct alternative, okay? First of all, it's necessary to follow the sequence, okay? Focus on the sequence. It could be task-based learning or presentation, practice, production. Then you are going to identify keywords, eliminate one alternative, and then you are going to choose the correct alternative. Okay, teachers. Now, let's continue, okay? Number 7. Come on, teachers. Okay, teacher Median, Daisy, Juana, Maria, Liliana, Juanita, thank you, Carol. Good evening and welcome. Where are you from, teachers Miriam, Daisy, Juana, Maria, Liliana? Okay, because teacher Carol is from Arequipa. Okay, teachers. Remember that today we start our training for Ascenso de Escala. Auge, Perú. Okay, number 7, A, B, or C. Roberta's 5th graders have been working on different kinds of writing products during the past few months. She has planned the following sequence to reinforce her students' writing skills. The teacher writes the following questions on the board. How do you recycle things at school? And how could you promote recycling in your school community? We give the students some time to reflect on their answers individually. Next, the teacher asks the students to get in groups to share their ideas on the proposed topic. Then, some volunteers comment their points of view to the rest of the class. The teacher reminds the students of the different writing products they have been working on, brochures, posters, and flyers. He asks the groups to select one of these formats to promote recycling. They are given some time to write their products. Focus on the teachers. The teacher reminds the students on the different writing products. Okay, you have posters, flyers, okay, brochures. He asks the groups to select one of these formats to promote recycling. They are given some time to write their products. Finally, the students display their products. In the school, to create awareness on the importance, here, let me see here, of recycling in the school community. Okay, teachers, now the question is, based on the sequence above, which of the following method to teaching writing has Roberta adopted? Task-based learning, problem-based learning, or presentation practice production? A, B, or C, teachers? A, B, or C? Okay. Here, my teachers from Auge Peru, number 7, focus on then is PPP, presentation practice production. Why presentation practice production? Here my teachers from Facebook Live. Oops. Teachers, please. Teacher Dennis, how do you consider and how do you realize that is presentation practice production? Because, okay, we present the topic, use the past topics and practice as practice, and there is a production. Yeah, okay. But here, teachers, the teacher writes the following questions on the board. Okay. Focus on those questions. How do you recycle things at school? And how could you promote recycling in your school community? Okay, here. Those questions focus on, do you consider task-based learning, presentation practice production, or problem-based learning? Now, the teacher asks the students to get in groups to share their ideas. Okay, then some volunteers comment their points of view. The teacher remembers the students of the different writing products they have been working in different ways, for example, posters, flyers. And she asks the groups to select one of these formats to promote recycling. They are given some time to write their products. Finally, the students display their products in the school, okay, in order to know the importance of recycling in the school community. Teachers, do you consider here is task-based learning, problem-based learning, or presentation practice production? What do you consider? Maybe some teachers focus on task and presentation, but because today we review task and presentation, but do you consider, teachers, this sequence correspond to problem-based learning? Okay, teachers. Yes. Focus on problem-based learning. Why? Because here, you know, the teacher writes the following about recycling is a problem. And the teacher start with this, how do you recycle things at school? And the most important, how could you promote recycling in your school community? Okay, the teacher focuses on problem-based learning. Don't worry, teacher, here we are going to review problem, project, content, okay, based learning, blending learning, cooperative, collaborative. Okay, now number 8, teachers, number 8. Case study number 8. Yes, yes, teacher. It is focused on problem. Okay, problem. Then when we are going to review the approaches, you are going to solve some case studies about that, step by step. Okay. Number 8. A, B, or C, teachers? Teachers for Facebook Live, please. Okay, maybe your teachers. Okay, my teachers, here we are. Thank you. Okay, teachers, number 8. Are you ready? Number 8. When students are talking about likes and dislikes, at the beginning of an activity, he gives them the following instruction. Ask each other the question, what's your favorite hobby? As well as other WH questions to get additional information. Before the students begin the task, he wants to check the students' comprehension of his instruction. The question is, which of the following strategies is more appropriate for his purpose? Teachers, please identify keywords. Focus. Here you have, students are talking about likes and dislikes. Okay, and focus on the questions. And something important is before the students begin the task, okay, the teacher, okay, in this case, John, wants to check the students' comprehension of his instruction. Which of the following strategies is more appropriate for his purpose? Alternative letter A. The teacher repeats the instruction as many times as necessary until the students know what to do. Alternative letter B. The teacher chooses some students to come to the front of the class and help him model the activity. And letter C. The teacher calls one volunteer to explain to his classmates in Spanish what instruction for the task is. Teachers from Auge Peru and from Facebook Live. Share with me your answers, please. A, B, or C. Number 8. case study number 8. Here, okay, Facebook Live. Let me see here. Miriam, letter B. Juana, letter B. Okay, Auge. Maria Flor. We are from Auge, Peru here. Okay, thank you. Haley, letter B. Maria Flor, letter B. Lobby, letter B. Okay, teachers. Now, I'm going to read your answers here. Okay. Denise, letter B. He teaches what he's going to do. Okay, teacher from Auge, Peru, you are sharing your answers. Alternative letter B. Okay, teachers, letter B. Thank you, thank you. Case study number 8, the correct alternative is letter B. Okay, is more appropriate. The teacher chooses some students to come to the front of the class and help him model the activity. Alternative letter B is more appropriate. Why not letter A and why not letter C? Because imagine in letter C, the teacher calls one volunteer to explain to his classmate in Spanish. We are English teachers and it's necessary to use English in our classes, please, okay, as much as possible. In alternative letter A, the teacher repeats the instruction as many times as necessary until the students know what to do. Imagine. As many times. It means you have an hour, 2 hours is okay. When you are going to eliminate one alternative, in this case, you can eliminate, okay, A or C, teachers. Because you're going to have 2 alternatives and decide, okay, which one is more appropriate. In your case, teachers, if you have to eliminate one alternative, A or C? A or C? Okay, my teachers from Auge, Peru, letter C. Why, teachers? Why? Here, my teachers from Facebook Live. Sí, Fabiola. Thank you, teacher Fabiola. Yes, because you know. Yeah, because Spanish. Yeah, thank you. If you eliminate immediately, focus on alternative C, eliminate letter C. Why? Because the teacher calls one volunteer to explain to his classmate in Spanish what the instruction for the task is. Okay, teacher, thank you so much for your active participation. Okay, now let's continue with our training from Auge, Peru. Today we start our training for Ascenso de Escala teachers. Okay, if you want to prepare with us, please, today we start this training. Our training is on Wednesdays from 7 to 9. Okay, teachers, now number 9. Okay, number 9. Teacher explores the topic with the class, highlights useful words and phrases, helps students understand task instructions and prepare. Alternative letter A, pre-task, B, task cycle, and C, language focus. Okay, here, identify the stages of task-based learning. Teachers from Auge, Peru here, number 9. Okay, letter A, pre-task. Okay, teachers from Auge here from Facebook Live. Fabiola, number 9, letter A. Okay, thank you, Fabiola. Thank you, teacher Fabiola. Okay, no more answers. And here, okay, teachers, yes. The correct alternative for case study, or in this case, number 9, is letter A. Yes, pre-task, because the teacher explores, yes. Now, number 10. Students do the task in pairs or small groups, and teacher monitors. Then they prepare to report to the whole class, orally or in writing, how they did the task, what they decided or discovered. Finally, some groups present their reports to the class or exchange written reports and compare results. Here, teachers, alternative letter A, pre-task, B, task cycle, or C, language focus. A, B, or C in this stage, pre-task, task cycle, or language focus. In this stage, students receive feedback on their level of success on completing the task. A, B, or C. Here we have some answers. I'm going to read. Okay, teachers from AUGE. Number 10, letter B, task cycle. Remember, task cycle. The first is, okay, please share, teachers. Task, very good. Then you have the task. Okay. Teacher Maria Flor, letter B. Fabiola, letter B. Number 10, thank you, teachers, for your active participation. Okay. Yeah. Task, planning, and report. Task cycle, task, planning, and report. Okay, teachers. Now, today, we review task-based learning or task-based instruction, presentation, practice, production. Okay, teachers, during this training, we are going to review topics from Minedu exam for Ascenso de Escala. Okay, teachers, thank you for your active participation, teachers. See you next Wednesday, okay? Our classes are on Wednesday from 7 to 9. Okay, teacher, thank you, teachers from AUGE. Thanks, you were very helpful. I didn't remember. Oh, okay, don't worry, because sometimes we use in our classes, but it's necessary to refresh our knowledge because you are English teachers. I am an English teacher, and here we are here in order to share with you, to refresh with you, okay? And I'm going to give you some tips in order to take into consideration when you are going to take your exam, okay? Yes, first of all, it's necessary to review, to refresh theory, to review terms, terminology, and then when you refresh your review, you are going to solve any case study. Okay, teachers, thank you. Thank you very much for your active participation. For me, it's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Maria Flor, Fabiola, okay, teacher Juana, Wilmer, Miriam, Heli, María Fe, Juana, María Flor, Lobby, teachers, okay, okay, for me it's a pleasure, teachers. Thank you so much. And I would like to invite you to follow our Facebook, and if you decide to be prepared, please ask information from AUGE Peru, here in Chiclayo. Okay, teachers, thank you so much. Okay, Lobby, where are you from? Lobby, please. Lobby, María Flor, Fabiola, Wilmer. Teachers, Juana Raquel. Heli. Miriam. Fabiola. Lobby. Okay, thank you, Fabiola. You are from Pisco. Thank you. Guanta, Lobby. I am from Guanta. Okay, Lobby. Thank you, Guanta. Okay. Thank you, María Flor. Where are you from, María Flor? Juana Raquel. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Okay. Okay, dear teachers. I am reading your here in Facebook Live. I am reading your comments. Okay, Fabiola, thank you. Goodbye, Maria. Goodbye, Lobby. Thank you. Okay, teachers, see you next Wednesday here at 7 p.m. Has and blessings, teachers. Take care. Okay, take care. Have a good night. See you. See you, Denise. Thank you.